Hello everybody, and straight away, hello there Josie Green. How are we all doing this evening? This is a completely new thing I'm doing here. Before I start, that this engine is going to bother me. So, this is of course the Goldcrest Valley map, but it's done very different. This is where the farm used to be. That was interesting. I've gone into Giants Editor and I've taken it all out, done some editing. It's not perfect. It's been a long time since I've used Giants Editor. Yeah, floating bush. So this is of course where the farmhouse and chickens were, and there's still little bits of the texture still showing through and things like that. It's by no means perfect, but it is different. So in this series, as you can see, we have 96, let's change that a second, $96. I have $96. Not a good amount of money to have. There's still a few objects here and there that I still need to get rid of. But for this series, what we'll be doing is, because we don't have a house, this is our house. This camper. This is a drivable camper, but it's not going to be used. Instead, what I have here is the Lizard TT pickup with, let's show you, a fifth wheel attachment. Of course, we have nothing else at the moment. In fact, I can show you that too. There we go. We've got our camper, we've got our pickup, and we have our fifth wheel attachment. Thank you there, Josie. It is a nice house. It's nice to look at from a distance. The closer you get, yeah, it looks a bit flat. But I can see about making a new one of those at some point, now that I've gotten Giants Editor to do what I want it to. So, the very first thing that we're going to need to do today is jump inside our pickup here. We need to go and find ourselves a job to do. How is the audio on the stream? It's been a long time since I've streamed, so I want to make sure I have all the settings to the right thing. You may also notice the music, providing that you can hear it, is a new feature. Hopefully it's just terrible enough in the background there. I didn't intentionally go for waiting room music, but that seems to be what it is. Okay. This is a new thing that's happening. I get an issue when trying to do missions and the timer comes up. Are you meaning the audio for the music? Okay, let me just see if I can fix that. Let's turn that up a bit. Is that? It'll take a few seconds, but is that any better? Hopefully that's better. Let's see if we can get a contracting job. Here we go. Oh, look at that. It's in a Class Mega as well. $12,000. We'll definitely be doing that one. This is going to be a relatively realistic style series, within reason. The audio from my microphone, is that too low? Put that up, I think. Just check. So we're going to be doing this in the middle of a live stream, of course. Oops. That's what happens when you tap out of the game. I was going to keep them thoroughly happy, although it has actually counted towards progress. Let me just adjust the microphone itself. Is that any better? Hopefully it is. Otherwise, I don't know what else I can really do to it. Okay, not any better at all. Let me just have a little think. Turn this up. This is not going to help with our time here. Let's see if I can change the settings for this. I'm not sure if I can. No, apparently I can. However, that is as loud as it goes, unfortunately. Turn it down the music just a bit. I can do that. Okay, let's get back to it before we completely run out of time. So, small field here to harvest. Hopefully things work out a little bit better in the future. It's been a while since I've streamed, so teething pains all over again. To be honest, it's been a very long time since I've live streamed on YouTube in general. I tend to live stream on Twitch nowadays, but I haven't done that in a while either. How is the video quality? That's one of my concerns. It's a little bit lower than I would usually have it set. Hopefully it's not too bad. Well, I'm glad that you're glad there, Josie. You may notice on your screen there is a sub goal. I'm looking to achieve 250 subscribers. That, I believe, is a live sub goal. I'm supposed to also have a event box in the middle of the screen, so any new subscribers would hopefully show there. Not sure if it's working yet. So, how are we all doing this evening anyway? Trust everyone's evenings are going quite well. I always thought these class dominators were bigger than this, to be honest. It took us 20 minutes to do this field. But for 12 grand, that's a not bad start. What I would like to do with this series is it's going to be a somewhat interactive series. So when I have enough money to purchase a tractor, I'll give you a choice of a couple, and you can choose from those. And also, at some point, it won't be this episode, if you will, but in the future I do plan on having animals. But in order to get animals, I'd like to spend a bit of money on them, but I'll edit them between live streams so that we can place the animals wherever we like rather than using their current pens. I've already gone to the effort of removing the chickens completely, which I think is a good thing, because I have I think it's the enhanced chicken pack, so at some point I will set that up so we can buy our own chickens, and we have to give them grain and water and all sorts of fun and exciting things. But for this series in particular, I don't want to be straying too far away from what is effectively our camp, because it's the only area of the map that I had time to make any adjustments to. So I do plan on making quite a few changes to the map in the future, which I'm sure will keep my game very happy, but that's the plan anyway. So we currently have no fields or anything, so we are effectively rebuilding Goldcrest Farm, as I'm calling it. I don't actually know what the farm was called, but obviously the map is Goldcrest Valley. So we'll just go with Goldcrest Farm, unless there is a better name. I mean, we are building a farm from scratch effectively, so we can name it whatever we want, really. Which I think would be adding to the interactive aspect of these live streams. And this is going to be a live stream only series. I have a few interesting plans for the future of recorded series. Letting Farm in particular, I have many plans for that. And also that series will actually be continuing into a season 2, but that's a little ways off just now. We're approaching halfway through this field. We should have more than enough time to get all of this done. Should be absolutely plenty of time here. So, what is everyone up to this evening? This is where a time lapse would be handy. Obviously, I can't do that during a live stream. The other thing is I want to keep this series running on a ×5 timescale. I don't want to rush through the days or anything like that. I think that's about right. It'll mean that each day lasts a couple of real life hours. I did miss a bit actually, but I'm sure they won't mind. With these contract works, I'm not sure if you're familiar with them yourself. They stop when you've done enough, basically. You don't have to do every single part of the field, which does take away a bit of the realism, but is kind of handy. Means you earn a bit of money quickly. But I think the first thing we need to do is we'll have to do another job after this, and then hopefully we have enough money that we can go ahead and buy our first tractor. It is going to be a small tractor. We don't currently have any land to work with the tractor, but having it there when we get land is half the battle. Tractor is one of the more expensive things that we're going to need. But I want it to be around 100 horsepower. I don't want it to be like excessively powerful or anything like that. I do have some mods that have quite high horsepower tractors, very cheap, but I'm thinking something along the lines of maybe a Massey or possibly a Valmont. But we'll have a look at them when we can afford them. I think the Masseys are around 30,000 to buy, give or take a little bit. Not 100% sure. We'll have a look when we finish this job. But we have 14 minutes left on this job, so we're going to finish with plenty of time. Probably about 8 minutes left or something. But there is some minor issues with the area of the map that I've edited, so don't be too harsh with your judgment on them. I've not edited a map in many moons. So I did forget a few bits and pieces, and of course the Giant Setter has gone through quite a few updates. So it took me a good few hours to even delete what I deleted and change the ground textures. And it's still not quite to the standard that I would like. We're 3/4 of the way through the field now. One thing that we can do to earn a bit of money when we have the equipment to do so is we can cut the grass on the verges. We just can't cut the grass in any fields or any areas like immediately adjacent to a field that would probably belong to the same landowner. And we can obviously do a bit of forestry if we got the equipment for that too, but I'm not necessarily looking to get into that, not straight away anyway. We may just earn a bit of quick money, but we'd still need to buy a tractor, trailer, a chainsaw, and then we'd have the joy of cutting trees up into lengths that are manageable without the use of any equipment. So, almost finished now. I honestly thought that these class dominators were bigger than this. Must be the smallest one in the shop. I've always seen them as quite reasonable size combines. So what do we all think? Do we think we should look at getting cows first, or should we get sheep first? I'll say it again, it won't be in this episode, but I'll need to add in the nav mesh and the triggers and things like that into an area. So if we decide what animal we need, or what animal we want, should I say, then we can figure out what size of area we need. And therefore we can work towards getting that. Oh, this is taking a lot longer than I thought. Almost done though. Very nearly done. So of course if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. I release quite a lot of Farming Simulator content. I do have the majority of my series being Farming Simulator. And this is going to be a live stream only series I do with this particular map. Yeah, and enjoy. Feel free to browse the channel. This is of course Goldcrest Valley, which is one of the original maps with the game. I thought it would be nice to come back to the original map. Nice to see it again. I've been on it in a very long time, and of course I've been changing bits of it. We're almost done now. Any second now they're gonna kick us off the field and give us money. There we go. That's not bad. 15,000 in total. See, I'm almost tempted to go and see if there's a job across the road here. Right, before I do that, I'll just casually stand in the middle of the road while we have a look at Massey Ferguson tractors. Yeah, some of them are expensive. We could get a 600 series. I would like the 3000, but it's a bit on the pricey side. Or there's Voltras, they're dirt cheap. We could get a 604. And there is also things like this. I think that's a Zetter, to be honest. I think that's a Zetter 7054HS. There's a few cheap tractors in here. There's one in particular that I would really like, but I don't know how much it costs. And trying to find it is always pain. See if we can find it in this massive amount of mod tractors I have. There it is, 12,000, we can't afford it. So we could get ourselves a little John Deere 1630. but I think we'll see if we can get another job. How long? 30 minutes. And give me a bigger combine. No. We'll find another job. I'm not spending the next 15 minutes harvesting another field. What other fields do we have around here? Field 15 doesn't have any work on it. I could maybe go all the way down over to field 21. That may be a thing to do. In fact, I think that's what we will do. We'll go down to the town. We'll drive like a maniac the whole way there. Barely stopping for other road users. Field 21. There's a field up here as well, actually. I just drive over the pavement like it's not there. I could have gone the long way around, to be honest. Not sure if there's actually going to be a job in that field. It looks withered. Let's park the truck out of the way. Let's see. Of course the trigger's all the way down there. So how's everyone's afternoon, early night going? Oof. No, I don't, those things take forever to use. They're an interesting combine to use, but no. When I say combine, it's not really a combine, it's just a harvester really, but let's go backwards in apparently still in drive. Yeah, fences and all sorts of obstacles for me to crash into now. There's a field on the other side of the town. Yeah, the chat is a little bit on the quiet side. I'm not massively surprised. I've not live streamed in quite a while, so I'd kind of expect the chat to be a little bit quiet. But if you are watching, please feel free to say hello. I don't bite. How much would I? No. No, let's try. Where's this trigger for this field? It's way over the other side. We'll drive to it. The trigger's up this side, I guess. Yeah, it is. Let's park the truck up the hill here. It's a truck after all. It was meant to go off-road. I could do that. That's a slightly bigger combine. Oh, that's a tiny one. Ah, it did that annoying thing again. I think the 18 foot is the biggest we're going to get, actually. Come on. It does this way too often. I know there's a mission. Okay, this field's a bit broken. Let's try this one over here. This is kind of a reasonable sized field. Look at that. Driving into oncoming traffic. Trees are also perfectly good braking systems, in case you're wondering. How is there no mission available? Should be. Oh, they give me 2 headers to do that one. There we go, I can do that. A big combine. Big combine, relatively big header as well, actually. That sign doesn't need to be there anymore. Let's unfold the header. It's 46 minutes they've given us to do this, but hopefully it's not going to take us anywhere near that amount of time. But it's worth a good bit of money. And we get to look at a nice New Holland CR 1090. Very nice indeed. Yeah, 6 miles an hour. This may take a while actually. But it'll be worth a good bit of money. I think it's worth $38,000. So that'll buy us a tractor. It's definitely not going to take us 45 minutes, so they always give you a round twice as long as you really need. I don't even think it's going to take us, I'll be surprised if it even takes us 20 minutes. But we'll find out. A bigger header would have been nicer, but gotta make do. So if you are currently watching the stream and are new around here, hit that subscribe button. See if we can get to our sub goal, and don't forget to hit that like button as well. See how many likes we can get to tonight. Yeah, probably going to take about 10 passes on this field to get it all. Well, for the mission to be complete, roughly. And yes, I know I'm missing a bit. It's perfectly acceptable. Those bits didn't want to be harvested. Just like that single bit of corn there. So what's everyone's opinion on the new screen overlay that I'm using? It took me quite a while to set all that up today. I don't think it looks too terrible personally, but what's everyone else's opinion on it? Well, I'm glad you like it there, Josie. The other thing I'm tempted to do is I'm actually tempted to name our very first tractor. I'll give it a name and we will probably keep it even when we are rolling in the money. Keep it for sentimental purposes. So what do we think? Should I get the Little John Deere? Should I get the Valtra? Or should I get a Massey? What does everyone think? A Massey. I don't dislike the Masseys. I think there's also the option to get a crawler track Massey as well, which would be completely unnecessary but kind of cool. We'll leave this go and we'll have a look. I can't have a look when I'm doing a mission, I should know that. I have 800 hours of playtime on this game and still make mistakes every single time I play it. We'll have a look as soon as we're finished. We're about almost a quarter of the way. This field is a lot bigger than I thought it was. Or maybe it's just these ridiculously small machines that they're giving us to do things. So we're coming up towards the end of the week, so what is everyone's plans for the rest of the week and for the weekend ahead? Anyone going anywhere nice or have any nice plans? A single bit of corn there is kind of amusing, actually. I don't know how I managed to leave just one little bit of corn. It takes a pretty reasonable amount of skill, actually. Yeah, so we're just coming up to a quarter of the way done in this field now. We left some more corn, why not? So you don't have to go back and get it at the end. I was kind of hoping for some spreading missions. They're nice, easy, quick money. Don't really want to spend the whole day harvesting. But whatever brings the money in, I suppose. Oh, I really wish I could put this on a time lapse just now. Doesn't make it any quicker for me to do it, but it is easier to watch. After this field, we'll see if we can buy a few bits and pieces to go along with our truck. We also have the gooseneck trailers. So I think there's a transport trailer, so we don't even really need to drive our tractor all the way back up to the farm, which is convenient because it's quite a ways, and masses are all extremely slow. The fastest one is like 18 miles an hour. So we can chuck it on the back of a trailer if we can afford a trailer. And drive it back at 60 miles an hour. Conveniently enough, the shop is that building right there. So as for the town of Goldcrest, what changes would everyone like to see? Should we put in some farm buildings down this way, maybe some different triggers? Do we take triggers out and put our own in? What should we do with the town? We can always make it a little bit bigger, or we could make it a little bit smaller. We could just remove it altogether and plough over everything and just have nothing but fields for miles around. Not saying that that's my first choice, but it may be up there with the things I do. But like I previously mentioned, I have been and will be continuing to frequently edit this map in Giant Editor. So if there's anything on this map that you'd like to see done differently, anything added, or what's much easier to do is anything taken away, I'd be more than happy to have a look at it, see if I can get that done. One thing I, for some reason, amn't able to do, which caused me much frustration earlier, is it won't let me add wild grass back in. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe it's more than likely a problem with me and not with the giant setup, but if we're going to plant grass, we have to plant it the old-fashioned way with a seeder. And also, when we get to the point of having a seeder, we don't currently have any kind of endless supply of seed anywhere. So what we'll be doing is we'll be buying like big bags. In fact, I have a mod for the small bags, so we can just throw them in the back of the truck. And we'll have to transport our seed and fertilizer around that way. Which I think is a different way of doing things. Slightly more infuriating way of doing things rather than just parking next to a silo and it magically filling up from the depths. Almost halfway through this field. I'm missing quite a lot. It's fine. We'll leave just enough corn so that the locals can reenact their favourite horror movies. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen some serial killer jump out. So that was the norm for cornfields, to be honest. And yes, that sign that we reversed into, it didn't need to be there either. We're currently on a mission of knocking over as many signs as possible. So far we're at 2. This is over the halfway mark just. This is taking far longer than I thought it would. So, how many people do we currently have in the chat with us tonight? I can't wait to get a new graphics card so that the whole field I'm working in is rendered in rather than having those annoying coloured blobs in the distance. That would be nice. I'll get this field done and buy some equipment, buy some things and stuff, shiny toys, and see if there's any land that's within extremely low price range. Of course, all these missions that we do will also be lowering the price of the fields that we will eventually be wanting to buy. So, for example, that field 19, so was it 24? I think it was field 24 we done. That will be one of the fields that we look to buy quite soon. I want to lower the price of it a good bit first. I never even bothered to check how much it was worth. I don't think the field prices in Goldcrest Valley are too ridiculous. Unlike Sandy Bay, for example, where a metre square plot of land in Sandy Bay will set you back everything you own plus both of your legs. And that's just to borrow it as well. Is of course the other thing we can do. I do have the bank of Hogstead, so we can lease fields if we really want to, but that will be a choice that's made by you guys as to whether or not we lease a field, because it's an ongoing expense, and also if we take out a bank loan, and that will also be up to you guys. We currently have no debt whatsoever. It's not my intention to keep it at no debt, but it'll be up to you, the lovely viewers, to decide how much debt we get into, how much of a hole we dig for ourselves at the bank. I mean, let's be honest, it's a bank, they're not meant to like us anyway. Coming up to the 3/4 mark. At this point, resorted to using the cruise control, to be honest. Instead of using the pedal setup, just sit here on cruise control. But I think this job is worth somewhere in the region of 30,000 anyway, so that's it's not terrible. Not terrible in the slightest. But I believe, just for the sake of saying it, I believe that these live streams will be made available on YouTube as an archive series, so if you do happen to miss one and you want to catch up on it, then it should be made available for you to watch at your leisure. So don't worry if you're not able to watch the entire live stream tonight or anything like that, you would be be able to finish watching it whenever you can, whenever you want to. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I have that set up. It's been that long since I've live streamed, I've forgotten how to do pretty much all of it, but the fact that we're live, that's half the battle. But I wonder, is the terrible elevator music, is that still playing? Should still be playing, hopefully it is. Kind of a new feature I decided to spend the best part of 2 hours working out how to do. That's good. Now, who doesn't love a bit of elevator music? It's like the music you hear when you're on hold with like your telephone provider. Maybe not quite that bad actually. Not far from it though. Oh, we're getting close to being done. This is not a field I'll be doing too often. At least not harvesting it too often anyway, because this is taking far too long. But when it comes to rebuilding the farm, we are going to have to buy buildings. I will do some buildings in Giant's Header. Some of the buildings that you can place in-game, I will place them in Giant's Header. And that's how we're going to rebuild the farm. We are going to use the ground modification tool to lay in concrete and gravel and asphalt, seeing as we're in America. Get that lovely asphalt on the go. Y'all love a bit of asphalt. Oh, my American accent gets worse every day. I actually don't know what part of America this is supposed to be honest. I think the idea is it's supposed to kind of fit in with pretty much anywhere. In fact, our resident moderator tonight, Josie, you're American. Where's this map based? Where is this kind of? Where is this? Where are we? I have no idea. Unload some of your infinite wisdom on us. Kind of a mountainy type, what was a valley? Pacific coast? Yeah, I can see that. It looks a bit bright. Isn't it always raining there? I always assumed that the Pacific coast was either extremely damp or a desert, depending on what part of the Pacific coast always, of course. I've never been myself. I went through the LAX airport once, put into a nice small waiting room while the plane was being refueled, and they almost considered letting us look out of the window. I don't think they actually got around to it, but they thought about it. That was many years ago when the world was a slightly less happy place. And of course it is an ecstatic place nowadays. I think somewhere on this map, I think I need to go to the effort of finding or making a Donald Trump man to randomly walk about. I think that would be quite amusing to just see a walking toupee somewhere on the map. Oh, it's beeping at us, we're at 80% full, not that we can do anything about it, of course. I like how it tells us that we're almost full, but then we'll continue to fill if we go into 100%. There we go, see if we can get all this in one. Look at that, it's almost like I've done this before. Should be finishing any second now. Ah, see, I said it would take us roughly 20 minutes or so. I thought it would be a little bit less than this, but 20 minutes so far. Any second now, I'm sick of seeing this field now. This field is too yellow, I want to see some green in the form of money. There we go. Just over 30 grand. I'll take that. And we've probably used half a tank, we've used about an eighth of a tank of fuel with this truck just sitting here. Okay, so let's remember to turn the truck off this time. Parked like a pro. That's pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and buy ourselves a Massey. Thank you, Blake Arnold, for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully you're enjoying this live stream. So, Massey's, it's in tractors. I've gone completely the wrong way. We've got 47,000 to spend. I don't want to spend it all on a single tractor if I can avoid it. Although this 8700 Black Edition is exactly what we need. We need that on the farm. I don't know why, we don't have anything to attach it to, but I've decided that we need that. So we could get a little 600 series without a cab. We could get the crawler track 200C. We could get a 600 two-wheel drive with a cab. We can't afford these bigger ones. Which one should we buy? I think it would be amusing to get the 200C, but it's entirely up to everyone in the chat. Which tractor do you think we should get? I'm quite a fan of Masseys, to be honest. I do find them a little bit inappropriately good looking, but that's a conversation for my therapist. One vote for the 200C. What do you think, Josie? Are you in agreement with that? Yeah. Rather interesting crawler track tractor. Yep, 200C it is. We will put the front loader attachment on it. We'll keep the standard engine. We'll keep it open cab. We don't need a warning triangle, that's for people who are worried about safety. Okay, so we now have a tractor. Very basic 88 horsepower tractor. I'm not 100% sure where they are, but there's gooseneck trailers somewhere. There's one. £12,000. Do you think we should spend another 12 grand getting ourselves a gooseneck trailer, or do you think that money is better spent elsewhere? With the gooseneck trailer, of course, given it's a crawler track, it means that we don't have to drive it on the road, which adds a bit to the realism. But it's £12,000 that we could spend on anything else. I agree, Jose. We definitely could use a trailer. It has multiple uses, and it also gives us the option. Let's see, with protection wall, extra 500 though. Why not? It's an investment. So that leaves us with $16,000 left. I think that money would be wisely spent possibly on a field. Let's be honest, the truck does look good in that colour. I'm a fan of that colour. I chose that colour because it's slightly similar to the colour theme on the channel. Let's see. Why is there a random ratchet strap across the back of my truck? There we go. Right, let's go ahead and unfold those out. That's what the protections are. It's the bit around the sides. Well, that's maybe not a bad thing to have, especially with my driving. So here is the Massey. I absolutely love this game. I cannot wait until FS 19 comes out. And hello there, Damon. How are you this evening? And thank you very kindly for subscribing. Hopefully you enjoy the channel. So this is our 274C Massey Ferguson. It's pretty nice, to be fair. No warning triangle on it either. I do have the option to go in and change these mods as well to put like better number plates on them and things. I don't want to edit anyone else's work too heavily though, but I don't mind changing number plates and the likes. Let's start her up. It's actually quite wide looking. Looks like it's gonna fairly fill this little gooseneck trailer we've got. I'll be honest, I've never used this gooseneck trailer before. Never used it. So I don't know if it's got a locking script or if that tractor is going to come flying out. Look at that though. That's going to cost us quite a bit on the repair cost for that suspension. Let's put up the tailgate. See if there's any kind of locking script. Not sure if there is. Don't think there is. We'll find out. Find out when the tractor comes flying off the back at high speed. Of course we need the beacon on. I play on a PC. I do have an Xbox as well, but I tend not to use it. What's wrong with this truck? I quite like this truck. I don't think there's anything wrong with our little truck. It's only got 1.7 hours on it. You know what? Let's just go. It might be struggling with this trailer. That might be foot hard to the floor. Oh, that car's a bit juddery. Yeah, suspension is a bit rubbish. At some point we will probably upgrade to having something along the lines of a big rig, something like a Peterbilt or something like that. And that will be used to ferry all of our equipment around. But it does seem to be a pretty decent locking script on that trailer actually. That's not a dodgy overtake at all. Let's just head down the wrong side of the motorway. I could actually see if I could edit this truck to make it a dually. I also find that the indicators on the back of it are pretty pathetically useless. I'll just show you. There is an indicator there, but it's just... I mean, that's all it is. It's like driving an Audi. I could see if I could load up the maybe not this version of the pickup, because this is let's this is someone else's mod. I don't really want to edit too heavily someone else's work, not without their permission anyway. But there is a standard version that I could most certainly look at adding a second set of wheels on. So here we are back at camp with the rubbish suspension on our truck there. Let's just go ahead and unload. So, our very first piece of equipment. Quite happy with that. The very first thing I'm going to do to it is park it in a shed. It's looking quite nice. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to leave this gooseneck trailer on the truck. That is exactly how you reverse, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. I think FS19 is going to be in a league of its own. There's a rumour going about that it's just a reshade of FS17, but I've quite extensively watched the trailers that have been released and things, and if that's just a reshade, they've done amazingly well on it. I think that game is going to be absolutely brilliant. Not to mention that John Deere will be licensed in it. That's something I've been waiting for. I've been playing farming simulator games since FS08, and that was actually the very first farming game I ever got. You know, I got it way back in. I didn't get it new, so I think it would have been about 2010, maybe 2011 that I got it. And ever since then, I've wanted to have John Deere in the game. No missions of 61,000. You can keep your field, you dirty fiend. As for maps, my personal favourite map at the moment, for a small map, I like Letting Farm. I'm currently doing a series on that, sort of like a role-playing series on that, and that map I think is really good. It is quite small though. For larger maps, I don't think you get much better than the West Coast personally. I think the West Coast is absolutely perfect in 99% of things. Played that map excessively over the last 800 odd hours that I put into this game, and 46,000. That's actually somewhat reasonable, to be fair. How much is Field 24? We did work on that earlier. Yeah, Letting Farm is absolutely tiny as far as maps go, but I have to admit the way that that map has been created and there's the general feel of that map, it's in a league of its own, to be honest. I can't recall who made it off the top of my head, but it is definitely, it's a very, very well put together map. The only limitations are 80th? Wow. George Watson's an extortionist. He must be the guy who owns the other field. There's only a couple of limitations with that map, but that's not so much with the map, that's limitations for Farming Simulator, I find. On this map I am looking to have cows and sheep, but also do a certain level of agriculture. I want to be able to have a combine, but also have animals, because animals serve as a very useful sort of money earner. You know, they earn money, barely. I can barely form sentences. They work as, you know, if you look after your cows, you will make an absolute fortune. Just to show you this again for everyone who's new to the stream. this is the area of the map that was a farm with the standard Goldcrest Valley. There is a farm building. I'd be looking straight at the farm building, and I've taken all of that out. As you can see, I missed a couple of bits and pieces, like there's a floating bush there and things like that, but I can always go back and fix that after. And this would have been the main entrance into the farm. It would be on cement just now, and that little patch of green there would be the small island of grass in the middle. And what I was actually thinking, just for the sheer joy of it, this little patch of grass that is rectangled off with this road around it, I think that would be a very nice place to put the sheep. I don't think they'd have much in the way of a shelter, mind you, but I think it would be quite nice to have a little field here for the sheep. Move them there. Damon, my goal for this series is to rebuild the farm that is now non-existent. I want to make it better. I want to make it different. I want it to feel more like an American map. I find these field sizes way too small, so what I plan on doing is when I have a few fields together like this, I plan on ploughing them all together and making one large field, and have the fields more naturally shaped rather than them being all sort of uniform and rectangle. But we've got $16,116 left in the bank. So let's have a look. I mean, one way of earning money relatively easy early on is to cut some grass and turn it into bales. Given that the money we've got, I mean, we could always buy a little profit hopper, but you know, I'd rather not. I'm not sure if I can add streams to this. I've never looked into adding water sources on the map. That's actually an interesting point there, Josie. We've got 88 horsepower. That would pretty much be just this terrible potato. I suppose we could get that one, but that one's still much better, to be honest. I wonder if we have a baler that is actually of relative use. These are all ridiculously expensive and won't be able to afford them for ages. There is this thing, but it produces bales that are pointless, I think would be the correct word. It's they're tiny little square bales that are, you know, you trip over them if you weren't looking where you were going. Okay, apparently there's a bale trailer, but it looks exactly the same to me, to be honest. There is the MF5 and the MF125F, that's a round baler equivalent. We do have the power for both of them. So we could afford the round baler. We could get the round baler. We already have a trailer, so then all we'd need to do is probably would have to lease a mower and a windrower, unless we take out a loan. What do you think in the chat? Do you think we should take out a loan? Get us a bit of equipment off the bat? I can show you on the finances page here. We have a loan of 0. Apparently we can't borrow anything either, unless I go to here, then I can borrow. I could borrow 100,000, or I could go say 150,000. Or is that too much? What do you think in the chat? I think we'd be able to afford the loan repayments on 150 grand. It would get us a good bit of equipment and possibly even a field as well. 125. FS15 is a really good game. It's I've seen it as sort of a turning point for Farming Simulator. They added a lot of new sort of what's the word for it? They added new physics. Let's see, let's take out 125,000. So let's see, where does it say? We have to pay 4% loan a day in interest. And it's a lot basically. We have to pay a lot for these loans. Now the next option is, with that same mod, I have Field Manager. And I could lease a field. As you can see, I can lease or buy fields. It will only show me the fields that I can afford to buy, which at this point, it's not many. Buy field 21 for 54,000. No problem, Blake. Thank you very kindly for watching. But let's forget about the fields just now. Let's go ahead and buy ourselves the round baler. Where is it? It's around here somewhere. There it is. No warning triangles. They're for people who want to worry about safety. There is, with FS19, I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but all of the trees on the map, or at least 90% of the ones like this, you can, but any of the full-size trees, you can chop down and process into wood. That's always an option for us. This thing looks quite nice from the front, actually. But as well as baling technology, we are going to need a mower. I say we go for the slightly bigger mower because it takes less horsepower, so our tractor is going to be more likely to manage it. And what we are also going to need is we're going to need a Massey Ferguson front weight. I think that one. Yeah, I think that one. And of course, we need all the front loader bits and pieces. And we'll get ourselves a spike fork. We can lift pallets with a spike anyway, so there we go. Now we need to we need to put this back onto the gooseneck trailer. There's a good chunk of money disappear already. We're down to 111,000. We need to put this back onto the gooseneck trailer because we have more than one piece of equipment to bring back. So we're gonna have to take the tractor down there because for some reason the truck doesn't have a 3-point linkage on it, which I think is just unacceptable. Let's jump back in our Lizard TT pickup. Now let's drive like lunatics down to the shop, or as fast as we can with the clearly heaviest tractor in the world on the back. If you have just joined the stream, or if you haven't gotten around to doing it so far, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button as well if you are enjoying this live stream. And also, don't be shy. Hit that chat up and say hello. I don't bite. At least not in a bad way. I was going to get all this new bits and pieces. We can at least start some. It's a start to our grassworks. We don't have enough money that we could buy another tractor as well, so any suggestions on what kind of tractor we should buy? There's loads to choose from, but I don't want anything overly powerful. I think it needs to be somewhat sensible. So none of these giant Massey Fergusons or anything like that. But I don't mind taking something with a bit more power. So the intention for this is to try, keyword there being try, to load these things onto that gooseneck trailer. I'm not sure how successful we're going to be with that, but we'll give it a go. My reversing is infamous, especially with these route trailers. I've never even tried it with a crawler tractor. Not even sure this is going to fit, saying that. Well, I managed to get it on the trailer, sort of. Doesn't fit. Well, what we can do is we can spend a little bit of money and we can take those guardrails off the trailer. That's definitely something we can. No, not that. I mean, we can definitely do that. Let's move the truck completely out of the way. Let's customize it without the protection wall. It's going to cost us 1,000 though. This can also be used as a bale trailer as well. So we've got that going for us, I guess. Yep. That was meant to happen. I planned that right from the start. Look at that! Look at that for reversing. There's some skillful backwards driving right there. Let's do some of the hard work and try and line this up with the baler. I've got my doubts that this is going to work, but well, would you look at that? I know it's technically in that area at the front, but things happen. Let's not get hung up on little details. See if we can get the lawnmower on the trailer as well. I think that's maybe not going to work. It's not really getting it on this the problem. I think getting it back off is going to be where the problem comes from. Alright, it's on. We'll worry about getting it off some other time. We'll deal with that when we have to. Yeah, that's just, we're going to have to come back for a tractor. I want to magically make tractors appear over here. The brakes on this thing are terrible. Kind of what you'd expect though, to be honest. But if you are new to the stream, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you're enjoying this video. And feel free to check out the channel as well. I have lots of Farming Simulator content. This particular series will be a live stream only series, and I want it to be as interactive as humanly possible. So any decisions that need to be made will be made with the viewers. So if you want to see this series progress and you want to have an input in it, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and don't forget to come back for the next one. And this one. Stay for this one too. I've not finished this one yet. A little bit of time left. a car just randomly stopped in the road there. We do still have a couple of decisions. I will be trying to stream this series. I'm going to try to stream it 3 times a week. I think maybe Monday, Wednesday and Friday would maybe be the best thing for this particular series, because I'd like to stream other stuff over the weekend. I think Monday, Wednesday, Friday would be a good time to stream this. All the streams will be around 9 o'clock at night. They'll start. I did not think this through actually. I've left my tractor down at the shop and I have no way of getting the mower off. Well, let's pretend that didn't happen. Nothing to see here. I took a taxi here. It was a very quick taxi. It was an extremely quick taxi. One of those spaceship style ones. That wasn't teleportation, it was just, it was an Uber driver. We got a very large tip for that. The speed and determination to get me down to that shop was unrivaled. I guess you could, if you tried hard enough, you could probably get an Uber driver that's that determined in real life. It would certainly make things a lot easier. For some reason cars are coming to a standstill. I need to have a look at that one in Giant Cider. I think that's probably something that I've done. Everything went fine before I started tinkering with the map like a mad scientist, so probably some kind of traffic collision error going on with the road there. Or maybe it's meant to be like that. But the other thing I'd like to do is between the streams I'll be loading this map and doing some bits and pieces to make this map feel more alive. I'll be randomly positioning vehicles on the roadside to simulate sort of roadworks, and I'll also be placing a significant amount of vehicles outside the vehicle dealership to realistically simulate the fact that it's a machine shop. It sells tractors. There's never any outside. So that would be, I suppose, the next question for everyone in the chat. What brand of machine should that shop focus on? Should it be a John Deere shop, a Massey shop, JCB, Class? I have quite a lot of mods of all of those, so I could put a good variety in. I think with JCB the downside is I don't think I have any JCB harvesters. Which is maybe a bit unfortunate. So what does everyone think? What brand of machinery should the shop focus on? I'll probably throw in a few random machines here and there of all sorts of different brands. But I want it to be a dealership for one specific brand. Wow, my driving with this is atrocious. I'm partial to Massey Ferguson as well. I do like Massey Fergusons. My only reservation with that would be is I did the whole placing a lot of vehicles outside a store in my Letton Farm series, which the episode that highlights that hasn't actually been released yet. I recorded it yesterday, so stay tuned for that one. The next episode of Let Farm should be out tomorrow. And I placed a whole host of massive Ferguson machinery out there. With the exception of this tractor, in fact. I don't know why I didn't place this tractor out there. I may have to go and add that in as well. I did forget to buy a windrower though. I mean, I really should head the grass. I think it'll probably end up being Massey. I think we'll probably do Massey. What do you think? Should we get a twin rake system, or should we go for a single rake system? Or should we just splash the cast and get this huge one that the tractor will never be able to... I'd almost be able to work that one actually. From 12.5 meters to 14.8. What do you think? Should we go for a single rake or a double rake? Twin? I'm thinking a double rake. It does a better job, so a lot less work. It is a 3-point linkage though. Well, let's see if we can get 2 birds with 1 stone. We need another tractor. We've already got a 200C. Do we go for another Massey or do we go for another brand? And we've got... I don't want to spend all of our money on it. I want to spend somewhere in the region of maybe 30,000. I don't want anything too exciting. Unless it's this. We need to at some point get the 8700 Black Edition. I wonder, let's just have a look. Put the biggest engine on it. I wouldn't have twin wheels, I'd have wide tyres. We could hire it for 24.5 grand. We could. But that's not how money's made. Oh, the temptation on that one. So, the choice of tractors are, there's this 143 horsepower man, but I've used that tractor before, it's not my most favourite tractor. We could get ourselves a little 56 horsepower John Deere. It's as slow as we can jail. What else could we get? We can get pretty much anything from the farming classics. I'd probably spring for the bigger one. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. Hi there, Gene. How are you this afternoon? Hopefully you're doing just peachy. What else could we get? I suppose we could go and get ourselves a Dutz. We could get a little AgroStar 471. That's within our price range, or we could even get the 611. I think they're kind of the same, to be honest. 5 horsepower difference. New Holland. Let's see what New Hollands we have. I do have New Hollands. Don't know how we're going to do for price for them though. They are a bit on the expensive side. This T5, by the way, although the mod is here, that's not a tractor I'll ever be using because it kills the frame rate. Every time I buy that tractor, my frame rate goes down to somewhere in the region of 4 frames per second, which is not very good. Do I have any more New Hollands? Another tractor that has just come to my attention. We have the Ford TW series. We could get a Ford instead of a New Holland. I mean, we could even swing for the TW25, which is certainly a nice tractor. Alright, I suppose there is this New Holland here. 100 horsepower. And the New Holland 1X090. Or we could just get excited and buy ourselves an 8530 John Deere. My budget is somewhere in the region of 30,000. I don't want to go too high over the 30 grand mark. What do you think? Should we go for the New Holland or should we go for the TW25 Ford? I like both of those tractors. I lean slightly more towards the Ford because it's got a bit more in the way of horsepower. but both of them are absolutely lovely tractors. The New Holland's faster, the Ford is more powerful. Well, one for the New Holland. Anyone else? Let's see if anyone else jumps in as well. One for the New Holland, one for the Ford. I think I'm going to go for the Ford. And we're going to have dual beacons on it because of course we are. No, 2 for the Ford. There we go, £28,000 for the Ford. The only issue I have with the Ford is it doesn't have a front 3-point linkage, but that's fine, we will take that into account. So let's see, what vehicles do we currently have? Got the mower, we've got the windrower, that's our camper and that's our 5th wheel attachment. Our trailer, our baler and our Massey pickup. We have everything we need for starting bales. So that is a bonus. Let's turn this tractor off. See if we can do this without wrecking all of our equipment, which of course as soon as I say that I reverse into it all. Let's go and pick up the quite beastly looking Ford. Compared to the Massey, the Ford is going to tower over the top of it. I had the Ford in a previous series and I was very happy with it. I had both Fords in fact in a previous series and yeah, they were both very good. It's a good tractor. I just remember growing up a local farmer had a couple of Ford TWs. I don't know exactly what ones, but they were pretty big. I think it's at that time of night where we should maybe stick the lights on a bit. Let's completely ignore the rules of the road and go in this no entry. There's no police around, so we do what we want. Not that the police being around has ever stopped me in the past, but that's another conversation to have with a therapist. But look at that, that's a beautiful tractor. And I actually think this tractor has interactive controls, so I can turn the lights on inside, which very nice. See what we got here. We can open the doors. Always like to open windows whenever there's the option to do so. Awesome stuff. Let's start her on. I take great offence at that, Josie. I am not a boy racer, maybe in my youth. The car I drive nowadays, it's physically impossible to be a boy racer. As soon as that car was bought, all of my street cred went completely out of the window. Well, that's not going to work. Alright, let's make use of the Follow Me mod. I've not used that in this series yet. Of course we're going to want the beacons on. Follow Me mod, one of the most useful mods for Farming Simulator. Especially seeing as when it comes to lighting, your hired workers will copy you. That guy just casually walking through the front of my tractor. That was extremely rude. It's not a mum-mobile, but you could probably do the school run in it for the entire street. It has maybe a few extra seats than is really necessary. The traffic in this game, they drive as bad as me. Yes, let's do a little bit of harassment. Right, actually going faster than me. That's I think it's a first for Farming Simulator. I've decided that both of these lanes are mine. I will be continuing this live stream for around 10 more minutes. I'd like to get a cut on the grass, maybe make our first bale in this live stream. The time scale is set to ×5 speed. I don't want it to get too dark. But the next stream of this series will most likely be on Friday, so before the end of the stream. What animal do you think we should get? Because I will start moving over the navigation mesh and things like that tomorrow. So should we get cows first or should we get sheep first? And if it is cows or sheep, where should we put them? Do we want them near our main farm or do we want them other side of the map? Or do we just leave them where they are? That's always an option as well. I'll bring up the map as well so you can actually see. Our farm is where all of the multicoloured dots are next to field 15 there. We could most certainly put the sheep in the rectangle bit next to well, the corner of field 14 and 15. I plan on joining field 14 and 15 together when we have enough money to buy them. But I could always have the field wrap around the back of the sheep pen, that's not a problem at all. Just now, the sheep are... in fact, the sheep are between field 11 and that lake. That's where the sheep currently are. And that's that little road that you see there, that is... the rectangle bit is, I'll show you it. That's actually, I'll cut that bit of grass first. Might as well cut that grass. Let's first of all park the truck. In its sort of usual spot. Map out of the way for now. Let's use the Ford. Actually, we've done a bit of work with the Massey. Let's go ahead and use the Ford for the mower. It's going to be a rear-mounted mower. That's fine. I most certainly will check out your live stream, Blake. Not a problem at all. Right, I will just head over to the rectangle area previously mentioned. It is that area of grass just to the left there. We could put the sheep in this area of a waiting cut. They could quite easily fit in this area. I don't think that would be any kind of problem at all. But of course we're going to cut the grass first. That's, you know, the best thing to do for your sheep is cut the grass. Now of course I do have crop destruction on as well. So there is the issue of that. We are running over the grass before we cut it, so we are losing a bit of crop, and I don't really fancy doing this whole field in reverse. It would take far too long. Luckily we opted to get the slightly bigger mower. But if you haven't done so already, if you're watching the stream, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot. And oh, there you go. The box does work. Maybe a bit delayed though. I'm not sure. It's the first time I've seen it. Didn't know it was working properly. But hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and if you're enjoying this stream, hit that that like button too. Lets me know you are enjoying the series. This is, like I mentioned, if you have just joined the stream, this is going to be an interactive series that I'm going to do 3 times a week: Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, around 9 PM GMT. And with this, the premise of the series is this is Goldcrest Valley without the farm. We have to build our own farm from nothing, and we've done alright so far. We've made about $40,000, and then took out a slightly sizable loan. But any decisions that get made on this series, if you're watching it live, you can contribute in the chat, and if you're watching it in the archives playlist, then let me know in the comments if it would be helpful if you watch the most recent one, comment on that for any changes. But I will do my best to make these videos available as soon as possible after each live stream, so that if you're not able to watch them all at the time, then you can still catch up on them. As for streaming over the weekend, I plan on streaming some other content over the weekend. At this point I'm not going to give away what it is just yet, but it will be a live stream. That's all I'm going to say at this point. But we are probably going to end up running over for time on this particular live stream, but that's okay. I'd like to get some baling done. I think that would be a nice way to end this stream. Making our first bit of produce. The general rule of thumb is for land that isn't specifically owned in a field, we can work as long as it's not directly adjacent to a field. So, like, where the farm was, the grass that is there, not that there is a massive amount of it, the grass that is there, we can cut that, but I don't want to cut the grass around the field. I imagine if the landowner caught us cutting the grass around the field, they wouldn't be really thrilled, I expect. But there is another question for the chat. I want to know, out of the Massey and the Ford, which of the 2 tractors do you think we should keep for the long haul? Which one should be the tractor that doesn't get replaced? And whichever one it is, what should we call it? A tractor that we keep from the very start of the series all the way through to the end, even when we're driving about in massive, great big behemoths of things. I'm impartial to either. The Massey has the benefit of having the front loader, but Ford has the power. I mean, 150 horsepower, I think, is pretty reasonable by tractor standards. That's all the mowing done on that, but let's go and put the mower. We'll put the mower in the shed actually. I think the Massey should be upgraded. If we decide not to keep the Massey, then it will at some point be upgraded. Not sure to what, but it probably will be upgraded. We don't necessarily need a tractor with a front loader in the long run, because I can always get a telehandler or even a wheel loader. I was going to put this in the shed, but it doesn't fit. Oh. Guess we'll just be leaving it out for the elements. Oh, there is a spike on the front of that. Wow, my driving does not get any better, does it? Let's see our nice new shiny wind rower in action. Or, if you prefer, rake. I know them as wind rowers, but I know a lot of people know them as rakes. Very handy tool. We currently don't have a tedder, so it is grass bills we're making currently. When we get a tedder, we'll probably see about getting a bale wrapper as well, so we can make some silage bills, which are obviously worth an absolute fortune. And we're not going to be able to sell the bills at this point because I got rid of the barn, which is obviously the sell point for the bills. But having them there is half the battle. I'll put in a sell point for them. That is right, Damon. The tracks do limit the massey quite a bit. But we're not looking to upgrade our tractor just yet. It'll be a couple of episodes before we look to upgrade that. I want to have things like a combine harvester and things first. I am fully aware we don't own that field. But we could. One day we will. So we should get a couple of bales out of this. I'm not expecting much, maybe three or four bales at most, I'd say. This is where I go to bale it, and there's about 10 bales left in the field. And what I'll do is I will just leave the bales in this patch of land. For now, I probably should, for the sake of realism, collect them, but I don't have anywhere to keep them just now, so I'll just keep them on the land. I'm going to go over this bit again and turn these two rows into one. Personally, as far as the tractors go, I personally prefer the four-wheel over the Massey. I do like Masseys, but the Massey is a bit less user-friendly, shall we say. Whereas the Ford is pretty awesome, to be honest. I do like the Ford. Quite a nice tractor. There we go. This definitely won't fit in our shed, which is a shame. That is definitely a shame. Probably shouldn't be using this bit here as a road, because that's not what I actually intended it to be. I think it was originally a road. It would have been a road that came into the barn. Let's go round along the way I designed it to be. I took this road out as well because I wanted more grassland there. To bring the field over mainly, but we're not at that point just yet. I'm not sure if this Ford has working lights actually. It does, that's handy. Oh, let's see how many bales we make out of this. 13 mile an hour is maybe a bit quick to be baling personally, but Whatever works, I guess. A bit slower up the hill. This bill is gonna. This bill's not gonna stay here. Goodbye, Bill. See you another time. Go hunting the bills after this. Well, in the next live stream, actually. Of course, it would head over this way. Well, at least it's stopped. That's not too bad. So yeah, I think we might make it to 4 bills. Realise just how uneven this patch is. I almost made it to the end of the field there. Well, it's not really a field. Almost made it to the end of this patch of land we've decided we own. Let's get this row done first. We're 2 bales down. I guessed that we'd get 3 or maybe 4 bales, so let's see how close I was. This bale's gonna run off as well. My one grievance with the Ford is it hasn't got the best turning circles. It's usable. It's definitely usable. But it's got the turning circle of a bus. Let's see. Will we make it? Yes, we will. I'm not going to bother to collect the rest because we don't have enough to make another bale, so let's just go ahead and put the baler away. Made 4 bales in total. Not the worst thing ever. First 4 bales that first 4 things we've managed to produce other than sickening amounts of debt. Managed to do quite well with that. Obviously with the next stream, a day will have passed, so we will have less money than we have currently, because we have our loan to pay back. Let's see if I can get this in the shed. Be nice to clean up after ourselves a bit. There we go. That's that one in the shed. Let's park the Ford over here. I want to move that lawnmower. It's kind of hanging off the edge of a hillside there. Let's put it on a bit flatter ground. Let's park the Massey in the shed for the night. At least it fits in the shed, that's convenient. So, there we go. In our quest to be rebuilding Goldcrest farm, we have made 4 bales. But we have to start somewhere. So it's always nice. We got something done. We made a bit of money, made a bit of debt. We got some machines. It's all going swimmingly. A pretty decent start we've had so far. This windrower especially, that's quite a decent bit of equipment to have. That can be used for all sorts of things. That's definitely going to get some hours put on it. And of course our lovely truck here has not quite let us down yet, but I think a few modifications to something very similar would maybe be the way to go. But I think that will do us for this live stream. We're 10 minutes over our time as it is, so I think I'll call it a night here. And I'd just like to thank everyone very much for tuning into this live stream. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button if you haven't already, and if you haven't, hit that subscribe button. And of course, don't forget to come back on Friday for part 2 of this interactive live series. Thank you all very kindly for watching, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye for now.